shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment. Did you capture it? Just let it slip.
You know, before my injury, I was really into playing football. Played football freshman through my junior year. I was a wide receiver. Loved extreme sports. Went to Lake Havasu and landed my first backflip on a wakeboard. Just love it. Can't get enough of it. Baseball is definitely my greatest passion in life. I played baseball since I was 4 years old. Pitching was my main position. My senior year, I was the closer for our team. And after my senior year, my plans were to go to Long Beach State and walk on, encourage each other, and hopefully get on the team and hopefully I could be a pitcher for them. So those were the plans.
From a very early age, has always had a passion for sports. He's always been very competitive, very headstrong, and has always put his mind to something and has accomplished a lot of goals. Date of his injury was July 2007. Hal was working the summers. It was his second summer working for our company, Apex Imaging. He was driving one of our large trucks out to Las Vegas to make a delivery. I was sitting at my desk and I received a phone call from the CHP that had told me that Hal had been in a terrible accident. I hung up the phone and started driving, picked up my wife.
There was a tire tread in the middle of the road. I attempted to swerve to miss it, and the weight shifted in the truck and threw me out of control and hit the right embankment, and it shot me back across the freeway. When I hit the center divider, the tires caught and flipped the truck 4 times. Opening my eyes a few minutes later to see the sheriff right in front of me, and I just was screaming at him for help, and he kept telling me I was going to be fine. When the ambulance pulled up, he had already called the coroner. Thought I was dead.
Hal had a severe compression at the C5, C6 area in his spinal cord. At this point in time, the hardest thing we had to deal with was the fact that Hal was on a ventilator. He had collapsed lungs, he had a broken scapula, had a pneumonia. There was one particular neurologist told us that Hal had a 1 to 3% chance to ever walk again. Walking, we thought, was still in the cards, and my wife and I and family had to digest that and process that, and that was very difficult.
At Cosclina, there was 2 people who were really influential on me coming to Project Walk. After seeing all these things and seeing all these people on these different machines, it really inspired me and showed me this was the place I needed to be to get healthy again.
After making the decision to go to Project Walk, I remember Hal's last appointment with a neurologist. The best advice he could give Hal, and he told Hal, was he needed to learn how to adapt and learn how to transfer. Hal looked at him and said, "I've already done that. What do I do now?" We told him we didn't have any questions and that Hal would be walking back in one of these days to see him.
In the short time that I've been here, I've seen a huge improvement with my whole body. My core has just gotten so much stronger, being able to balance myself in a wheelchair. My dad slams on the brakes in my car. I don't go flying through the windshield anymore. My upper body is just so much stronger every day. My dexterity's gotten better in my hands, got increased spasms in my legs, which a lot more feeling in my lower body, increased sensation everywhere, and can distinguish between hot and cold now in my feet. In the short term, I hope to regain more back in my triceps and my arms to be able to transfer myself. Want to get a little bit more core balance, and in long term, hopefully be able to walk again from being here. I truly believe that this place is going to help me to get to where I need to be in my recovery and to be able to be more independent again.
Hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just...
Getting involved with the spinal cord injury, you realize where the shortcomings of insurance companies are. Insurance companies want to support a lot of the adaptive and functional type therapy, but they don't want to support the recovery processes, which are activity-based and exercise-based. We've met families that couldn't afford a wheelchair. We've met families that couldn't afford to adapt their homes. We've met families that couldn't afford to adapt their cars. Through that, Hal saw this need.
I started a foundation. It's called the Be Perfect Foundation. It's to aid spinal cord injuries. The cost of the injury, they say over a lifetime, is $2.5 million for a spinal cord injury, and that's just an unbelievable amount of money. Be Perfect Foundation was more created to aid people with spinal cord injuries and help them.
The Be Perfect Foundation is to promote a positive recovery through exercise-based therapy and complete wellness. And it's to provide financial and emotional assistance to spinal cord injury victims in need. Hal felt the need to be able to give back on a local basis to local families. Recovery at Project Walk is worth every penny. You walk in the door, from the minute you walk in the door, whether it's a 1-hour therapy or a 3-hour therapy, they keep you busy for every minute of that, and it is worth every penny. But there's not a recovery process out there. There's not a outpatient therapy center out there that is cheap. Typical recovery at Project Walk on an annual basis could be anywhere from $38,000 to $45,000. Again, worth every penny for somebody to get to a Project Walk or to adapt a car to get to a Project Walk. This is where the foundation will come in. In our short time at Project Walk, we've seen the unfortunate scenario where a client might have to leave. They may be months into their recovery and can't afford to keep coming. It shouldn't have to happen. When we see in the short time that Hal's been there, how much he's progressed, it shouldn't be cut short. Your assistance will help exercise-based therapy, a Project Walk, a reality to those that aren't aware that maybe they can make this work financially. Maybe they can get to a facility that can help them with their recovery, or it's this type of recovery. And we hope that we can make this a difference for all spinal cord injury patients.
Growing up, I really loved the movie Friday Night Lights, and there was a speech in there about being perfect and how being perfect is being able to relate to your friends and family and telling them that you're going to give it your all, and no matter what you do, put your life on the line, put everything out there, bring that quote back into my life and that motto that I live by every day, and try and tell myself to live my life to its fullest.
Scared to death, I'm taking a chance.